this is not a good situation for our society to be in when we can't have dialogue and discussion. And people could say, oh, it's the right wing or the left wing or whatever ideology they want to say. There's a cult mentality in a lot of these political groups.
Yeah, politics does some weird things to people's psyche. But you know, the solution to that is this book called Secret Knowledge.
$6 on Amazon.
Only $6 on Amazon. A new constitution that'll change your life, filled with an educational political philosophy.
So you
Does the
want a new
library have
constitution?
a copy?
Sorry, Henry.
Does the library have a copy of that? Because then people could rent it from the library, and you as the author would still get paid through the commissions that they give authors when they lend out books.
No, it's just on Amazon. It was
Uh,
published in October of last year.
hmm.
So it's pretty new, pretty fresh.
Yeah, I heard that the library is a pretty good source for getting books out there as well. If you're not making good sales on Amazon alone,
Yeah.
people want to spend the money on it. They just want to rent it, and then if they like it enough, they might buy it for themselves or for someone else.
Yeah, yeah. I did YouTube ads and did not have success with it for some reason.
Mm.
I always assume I'm getting shadow banned because of my political content. That's just always my assumption. So they
I don't think
shadow
you should.
banned me, but they were more than happy to take my money while they were shadow banning me.
I don't think that you're being shadow banned. I think that a lot of people just do not have interest in like transforming society or political beliefs. I mean, I think in terms of transforming society, people kind of think about, hey, I just need to take care of myself, my family, and get my paycheck.
Yeah. But if they're spending 40 hours a week at work, that's I mean, all of in the taxation and all that, and that's inherently political. Like your tax dollars going to $1 trillion empire. That's extremely political. So every time you do a transaction, the government gets involved. It's political.
Yeah, I mean, people should definitely consider the fact that, there's a lot of power structures that influence their daily lives, and they can also play a part in trying to change that. I wish there was more conversation about that. What do you think, Henry?
A lot of people have become kind of antisocial because of uh, politics and stuff. It's kind of like um, it makes people kind of emotional and not as rational as they should be. Um, and some people just want to um, they want to veg out. They don't want to perceive these kind of things anymore. They're kind of sick of reality and they'd rather be at home and just doing the least that they can through just social media rather than actually probably showing up to protests where um, it's more of a social event kind of for protests rather than just worrying about your own life. You want to be a voice for good. But some people find that, I guess, too stressful or too too active, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to consider. I know that the social media can definitely be a tool. It can be positive or negative. So, Kevin,
Really?
what's the name of your book, though? You didn't name the book, though.
Secret Knowledge. It is a collection of 12 essays and 3 contracts in 60 pages. So it's filled with political philosophy and a new constitution. And if you don't know what liquid democracy is, you should definitely read the Wikipedia on liquid democracy. It's something that would instantly change our political system, but we need to implement it through digital means, mostly through social media. So it has to do with solving peak oil through the building of arcologies, which is an entire city in one building. So we use shared golf carts instead of the personal automobile. And Yeah, oil's running out in like 10 to 20 years, and then that'll be the death of industrial society forever, unless we get our act together and get some EVs, get some solar panels, get some arcologies. So, yeah, there's an essay on wealth redistribution. There's an essay on rejecting the U.S. Constitution. There's a on overpopulation and family sizes, and on eminent domain to build the arcologies. So we're gonna have to eminent domain some land, lots of land to build these things. Well, not a lot. It's like 100, 200 acres, but you need a continuous like 200 acres to build an arcology. It can't just be like half an acre here, half an acre there. It doesn't work like that. That's how you get those pencil towers that are really annoying, and I don't like them. Like a lot of people like the really tall, skinny towers, but like an arcology is fat. So I like to think of it as like 3D land or a 3D city. You have like every floor is like a whole new town. That's how fat it is. And a lot of people give up sunlight. You have to give up sunlight to live in an arcology, but this is the 21st century. We don't need the sun anymore. The last page of the Bible actually says that the city of God is as tall as it is wide, and that the residents of the city of God don't need the sun or the moon to shine upon them. It's the last page of the Bible, believe it or not. So it's describing an arcology, is what it's doing. So, yeah. So these arcologies, it's basically like a town. Every floor is like a new town. And the elevators are like the mass transit system. So you don't need buses, you don't need trams, you don't need trains. The elevators are the mass transit. And every floor, every layer of this arcology is a whole new town.
I mean, I definitely agree with having alternative energy sources. I actually think that's an extremely important topic to discuss. I know that the arcology is an extremely complex technological situation in
It's
terms
just a
of
fat
how to
skyscraper,
implement.
dude.
Henry, what do you think about arcology and what Kevin's been saying?
Um, yeah, I think we need to have an of the above approach to trying to solve our energy crisis.
Yep.
Um, it's a shame that uh, the Trump regime has killed a lot of the credits for electric vehicles and for companies to electrify and stuff like that. Um, I mean, I feel like we should still use natural gas to do heating and stuff, just because if that fails, then we can use electricity. But um, we need to control our emissions, because that is a type of pollution. You can't expect a closed system to be to have a good enough cycle with humans involved. Humans have to be able to solve the problems that they create. Um, and with arcology, I think it can help society to unify a little bit better, be more efficient, be um, um, yeah. I'd like to learn more about it, but as far that's all I really know about it.
Oh, I got you covered, man. I got like 600 YouTube videos and a
I
book.
mean, you've definitely put a lot of time into the research that you've done and the information that you put out there. I wish that you could get more people to go to some, planning meetings.
Yeah, I'm trying to start one in Buffalo. I'm trying to start a seed of an arcology in Buffalo, which is nine. It's 9 bedrooms. It's actually communal, partially communal. It has three bedrooms in one structure, and then there's a communal space that the three bedrooms share.
Now, has
So it's
any community in the last 10 years tried to implement any form of the arcology that you have proposed?
yeah, there's one in Alaska, because they're very thermally efficient. So when you put all of the buildings together into one building, the thermal efficiency, it goes like through the roof. Actually, I estimate it's 16 times higher than suburbia, the thermal efficiency. And then you can double up the insulation, and then it would be 32 times higher than suburbia. So you're talking about heating and cooling bills that are 3% of what they are today. And then with the shared golf carts, with the transportation, you're talking about your transportation costs going down by like 90%, 95%. So it's incredible. Your mortgage will still be a lot because we have to build the structure, which sucks. There's kind of no way around that. But if you mass produce the structure, you can get like hopefully like below $100 a square foot is like kind of the goal. That's like the residential standard is like $100 a square foot. So if we could get like $80 a square foot or something, that was like one of my estimates. That would be pretty good. I'd be pretty happy with that.
So how many people are in the actual arcology center that was built in Alaska?
I think the town I could look it up, but not right now, I guess. But I've seen pictures of it. There's probably like 400 or 500 people living in one structure. The post like it's the entire town in one building. So the whole town huddles together for warmth, and there's probably like 500 people in there. I think it's like 15 stories tall.
Would
Well,
the mall that's being abandoned right now be a good land source for that?
Yeah. So the problem is, you have to kind of demolish the mall first to get down to the ground, or
Hmm.
you could demolish holes for support columns into the mall, but the support columns need to go through the mall. They can't just like sit on top of the mall. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
is
if
is
you
that
have your
because like the
support columns on
ceiling
top of the mall, then the mall would
is that
collapse.
is that because like the ceiling can't be reinforced with beams?
You'd have to go through the mall with the vertical columns. They have to be vertical. That's why they're called vertical columns. so so yeah. So you'd have to partially demolish the mall at the very least.
Hmm.
So
So we can't turn the Boulevard Mall into an arcology.
it would be a one-story arcology, which is not as fun. The three-dimensional nature of it is really important.
Well,
Yeah,
I
and
mean, if they turn, oh, sorry, go ahead, Henry.
I was gonna say the subway is really close by to it, so it could help that the public transportation could increase in its usefulness to people when you have a living situation that's near transportation. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
If they demoed it, that land would be perfect. How do you know how many acres it is?
I
no,
don't know off the top of my head, no.
I've heard
Anything
it.
more than like 20 is good. You need about a minimum of 20 for it to really matter.
Yeah, I mean, they just have to extend the metro rail, and I know there's somebody in Tonawanda that Michael Modern, he's always for extending the metro rail.
Yeah, for sure.
And it would definitely help cut down on our emissions from the vehicle traffic if more people were to be able to travel via the light rail.
Yeah. So think of it this way. Imagine a city where you have factories or industries stacked on top of each other in layers, and instead of putting goods on a semi and then having the semi drive like dozens or hundreds of miles to another facility, you just put the pallets on an elevator and the elevator goes up or down, like up a few floors, and then it's already at its destination. The elevator stops and it's already at its next destination, which is the next industrial facility. So you can have the entire supply chain in one building in one city, and your freight for the shipping goes essentially to zero.
Maybe,
Your car payments go to zero, your shipping payments go to zero, and then your heating and cooling goes to zero.